and welcome back to Anne's Family Recipe. Today, in honor of the Kentucky Derby this weekend, I'm making super buttery, ooey gooey pecan pie bars. You, but I love watching horse races on TV. They're like my ideal sporting event. There's those 20 minutes of hype leading up to it. You pick whoever you think the winner is going to be. For me, it's based solely on their crazy names. And then as soon as that last horse enters the gate, they're off and running. It's 2 minutes, super exciting, and then it's all done. So I can't wait to watch the Kentucky Derby this weekend. And I thought, what would be more fitting than to make pecan pie bars? So this recipe is very simple. It's from Land O'Lakes, so I'll leave the link to their website down below so you can get the full recipe. And I'm going to show you right now how I make it. The first thing I'm going to do is prep my pecans. So I bought pre-chopped pecans, which will work perfectly for the filling, but there's also little bits of pecans in the crust, and I would like them a little more finely chopped. So it's only 1/3 cup, and I'm gonna chop those finely right now. Ooh, and my oven's ready too. So the crust is just a simple shortbread. So I'm adding 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and then 1/3 cup of white sugar, and then 1½ sticks of room temperature unsalted butter. So I just left that out overnight so it's nice and soft. So that's 3/4 cup of butter, or like I said, 1½ sticks. And then I'm gonna take my electric hand mixer and mix that all together. So now that that is all mixed together, I'm just gonna add the 1/3 cup of finely chopped pecans. And then I'll mix that together probably with a rubber spatula, and then we'll press it into our 13 by 9 inch glass baking dish. Okay, so I have my 9 by 13 inch glass baking dish ready, and the recipe says you don't need to spray it, and that makes sense because the shortbread crust has so much butter in it. However, I'm a little bit worried about the pecan pie topping sticking to the edges, so I'm gonna kind of spray around the perimeter just so that that doesn't stick. We bake the crust first, like par bake it, and then we'll add the topping and finish baking the dessert. And then this crust is pretty dry looking and crumbly, so I'm just gonna dump it in and then use my hands to press it down, and that'll kind of compact it down, and as it heats up, the butter will melt and it'll turn into this incredible shortbread crust. I pressed it in a nice even layer all around the edges and in the corners, and this is gonna bake at 350 degrees for 18 to 22 minutes, or until it is lightly golden brown around the edges. Okay, so when I was stirring my shortbread crust, there was a huge cloud of flour that came out, and it's just making me laugh cleaning it up because this is just the story of my life right now. Our whole house is just covered in this thin coat of dust because we're having electrical work done, we're having a couple rooms created and renovated upstairs, so every day I'm always dusting or mopping something, so this is just all part of my routine. But next, I'm gonna use the same mixing bowl that I did for the crust for the filling. I'm starting with 2/3 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, and then to that I'm adding 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And then next I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'll whisk this much together. So from here, I'll be adding in 1.5 cups of corn syrup, and I only had light corn syrup available to me, although the recipe does call for dark, so you can choose which one you want to use. Either way, that's going to make it extra gooey and sweet too. And then I'll add 4 large eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then I'll whisk all of that in. One tip I have for you with the eggs is to leave them at room temperature for a little bit before you bake. They're a lot easier to crack when they're not like right out of the fridge and cold, and also they'll incorporate more easily into your mixture. The last ingredient for my pecan pie filling is the rest of our chopped pecans. So it should be about 1.5 cups. I'll just dump those in, and then I'll mix it all together with my rubber spatula. Hi, honey.
What are you making?
Pecan pie bars. Do you think you'll try one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah, as soon as they're done baking. Look at how gooey and delicious that looks. I cannot wait to try these out. Once my crust is finished partially baking, I'm gonna pour this mixture right over top of it while it's still hot. Then it's going back in the oven for another 30 to 35 minutes. So you can see my crust is now lightly golden brown around the edges. In my oven, it took about 19 minutes to get to this point, and now I'm gonna pour our filling all over top and pop it back into the oven. The directions say to bake these until the filling is set and a knife inserted 1 inch from the edge comes out clean. So we are at that point, and now I have to allow these to cool and then refrigerate them for about a half hour, and we can try them out. Alright, well, it's nighttime now, and we've made a pretty big dent in the bars already, and I should be headed to bed, but I decided to sneak in the kitchen and get one more bite because they are amazing. Super simple to make, which I appreciate. The filling is just the perfect consistency, ultra gooey, but nothing is falling apart. It all stays together. I love that there is salt in the crust. It balances everything out, and they are so buttery, which I'm so thankful that I can stomach butter and sugar again, because for a while, some of you already know, I'm pregnant, and my first trimester was pretty rough, but I totally lost my sweet tooth, which is very rare for me. I love desserts so much, and I couldn't eat them. So I'm glad that's back, because these are really good. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram at Aunt's Family Recipe, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked my pecan pie bars today. Thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with more family recipes.